Strap in, buckle up. It's Laker time. All right, now let's talk about the Lakers and the Cavs. This would also be the debut of Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton. And what better way to prove your talents than against the best team in basketball right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are on a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-game winning streak. 7-game winning streak, though, going into that game yesterday. And they were able to extend their streak. But let's talk about the game. LeBron James just turned 40, and the first quarter started, and he didn't look like he was any older. 8 points in the first, one off a layup, and then 2 threes. But then here's one thing I don't like, and it's always been something about LeBron that I can't stand, is that sometimes when he's like hot and he's the guy that's got it going, he'll still like pass. And like, I don't know why he does that. I don't want to say the words that LeBron fans get super sensitive about, but it's almost like you can call it whatever you want. Either it's X2 unselfish, which is just a load of horseshit to me. And then, or 2, it's like he feels bad almost about shooting too many shots and wants to get guys involved. Or 3, what the haters will say, but it might be true. Sometimes it's just a lack of like killer instinct as a scorer, not as a basketball player, but as a scorer. Just be a relentless scorer. He makes 2 threes, and then he has a wide open one to go 3 in a row, and he makes the extra pass, and then it ends up being a turnover. That wasn't good for the team. So, like, I don't know. He could have gotten really hot early on, but that was 8. But he still had 8 points in the first. Now, someone else that was aggressive early was Donovan Mitchell. Max Christie was guarding him, and by the way, Dorian Finney-Smith did not start, right? So I think he'll have a chance to work his way into that starting lineup. But the Lakers went with AD, Rui, LeBron, Reeves, and Max Christie, with Max Christie guarding Donovan Mitchell as the primary defender and Austin Reeves guarding Darius Garland as the primary defender. And Darius Garland and Evan Mobley taking leaps, I think, have been the biggest reason why the Cavs are so great. I mean, Donovan continues to get better. Jarrett Allen continues to get better. Those two are like in their primes right now, in like the beginning of their primes. But Darius Garland and Evan Mobley and their development is why people were so wrong about the Cavs. Like, people are so quick to give up on young talents and think that they're never going to improve at certain things. But Evan Mobley and Darius Garland, people were saying, what's the point of having these 2 guards? What's the point of having these 2 bigs? And they've shown everybody, just give them time. What they do have is 2 to 3 heavy ball handlers with Karis LeVert, Darius Garland, and Donovan. Then they have 2 bigs that they can stagger. They don't really need a great backup big. They just need an insurance policy if one of them gets hurt. And with the maturation of Mobley and Darius Garland, you're seeing that Donovan Mitchell made the right choice in staying, especially if he wants to be the guy. He made the absolute right choice. And I know he knows that now. Look at the way they're playing. And it's crazy how much we as a basketball community devalue continuity or don't value it enough. And I think when teams stay complacent and don't add pieces, I think you can say that is, that is valid to criticize teams when they don't add. But when they have young players that are like ascending, it's not the biggest deal because those players are what they're essentially adding. Now, in the Cavs case, last year they went out and got Max Strus. They went out and got George Niang. Those guys are really good for them. This year, Ty Jerome has been a revelation for them. But overall, it's been those same guys just continuing to play. And now you don't have the mystery of, is Donovan Mitchell going to be here long term? But Anthony Davis was on Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen obviously was on Anthony Davis. Both of them were in drop coverage. One thing the Lakers did poorly in that first quarter was they committed 2 fouls on 3-point shooters. And that's just a lack of discipline there. It wasn't the same player twice, so no need to call him out. Dorian Finney-Smith checks in the game around midway through the first quarter, and he got a putback dunk or layup on his first basket as a Laker. But the Cavs, they started flustering the Lakers when they went to a zone. At times it looked like 1-2-2. At times it looked like 2-3. Just kind of a matchup zone. And whenever the Lakers didn't have someone in the high post of the zone, which is just like, this is supposed to be the best era ever, as they say, and people don't know how to beat zones until they make 3-4 mistakes. Like, I don't get it. I really just don't understand. And every time they put somebody in the high post, they got a good shot. But when they didn't, they would just swing the ball around, and the Cavs' length, it's NBA length and athleticism, get their hands on passes and they would get steals. So the Cavs, they actually went up by a little bit, decent. I think it was like 8 or 9 points. And then they started jacking threes, like just quicking the shot clock and just not working hard enough, in my opinion, for good shots. And Austin Reeves took advantage of that. He got in the paint a lot in that first quarter and had 8 points in it. And Shake Milton hit his first shot as a Laker that capped off a 14-2 run. So they cut a 15-point deficit down to 4 in that first quarter. The only thing that was really hurting the Lakers was that they were that they had 7 turnovers in the first quarter. 6 turnovers in the first quarter. And 5 of those 6 were from LeBron or Austin Reeves. Nobody played the entire first quarter for the Lakers, but they were down 30-34 after one. So considering they were down by 15, I thought that was a pretty solid quarter. Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell each had 9 points in the first to lead the way for the Cavs. Now, in the second, Dalton Connect had 2 deflections, and I've called him Alton Connect at times because I don't feel as though he's a good defender. He's not very good laterally. He's responsible for some defensive miscommunications at times more than other players, and he's not very strong. You know what I mean? And there are certain guys like the Max Christies of the world where you can just tell they have the skill of playing defense. They understand angles. They have good anticipation of what the offensive player is going to do. Dalton, he's a white 3-point shooting guy with some bounce. He's not one of those guys, but he can get better at defense. I just think right now he's, going through the rookie learning curve. But I thought he was doing a good job in this game with those deflections and getting downhill offensively. You like to see, as a Laker fan, when he can put it on the floor and show more than just that catch and shoot ability. And the Lakers went on an 8-0 run in that second quarter to take the lead. But one thing that really prevented the Lakers from creating separation or even, win this game is that they just missed a lot of wide open threes. The Cavs made double the amount of threes the Lakers made. They made 18 out of 46, which is good for 39%. The Lakers, 9 for 35, 26%. And the amount of field goal attempts for both teams was not drastically different. The Lakers shot 2 more shots and 2 more free throws and ended up turning the ball over less in the game. The Lakers actually cleaned up the turnovers massively in the second half and only ended with 9 turnovers. So only 3 turnovers in the second half. Cavs had 11 turnovers. So they had more shots. They had more field goals attempted. They had more free throws attempted. They had more field goals attempted. The Cavs shot 48% from the field and 44 from 3. But I think it's mainly that 3-point percentage, making double the amount of threes. And do I think they had better quality looks? Absolutely. Absolutely, they had better quality looks. I'll talk about how they were able to generate them in a second. But they also just have better 3-point shooters. This is a team that has the number 1 offensive rating in basketball right now. Shout out to Kenny Atkinson. And that is something to me that should be an absolute black mark in the careers of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, mainly Kevin Durant, that they did not allow Kenny Atkinson to coach them. I don't know what was happening behind the scenes, but Steve Nash, that was them. That was not the coach, the front office. And I've heard multiple stories about it. Having Kenny Atkinson fired for Steve Nash was an absolute catastrophe. Look at the way the Cavs are moving the ball, making the extra pass, playing with pace. He's done an incredible job. He should be definitely in Coach of the Year considerations, along with Jamal Mosley and Ty Lue and Ime. So Max Christie, he missed 2 wide open corner threes that were good looks. And then I thought Austin Reeves, by the way, was really carrying the load for the Lakers in this stretch. He had 7 points in the second quarter, which led the way for the Lakers. Jared Allen, though, I want to talk about him because I felt like in that first half and honestly throughout the game, he really got the better of AD. AD at halftime was 4 for 11. So he was the leading shot taker for the Lakers, but I've noticed a trend with Anthony Davis so far this season, and it's when he plays against, bigger centers, Jared Allen, Isaiah Hartenstein, forget some others. But it really, even Jokic, it really forces him to take shots from outside the paint. He can't go into their chest and get the same amount of separation and create the same level of contact in his favor that he does against certain other guys. And it really comes down to if his jumper is falling or not, if that push shot is falling or not. And I also just thought overall Anthony Davis's body language on defense and on the boards was not good enough. It wasn't the Anthony Davis we've seen in the majority of games this season. It was the Anthony Davis that we saw a lot in the beginning of 2023 and in 2022 and after the chip in 2020 for like the 2021 season, where some games he was amazing, some games he wasn't. And in this game, it felt like Jared Allen was quicker to everything. It felt like he was going up stronger. It felt like he was the one that was more aggressive. Anthony Davis just seemed very passive to me, very passive, just shooting jumpers. And there were times on rebounds where he was just ball watching, and that's unlike him. So I just thought Jared Allen got the better of him. But Jared Allen also has the better team. He also has a secondary big. The Lakers don't really have that. They have older LeBron. They have Rui Hachimura, who, I mean, he's not, he had a bad game. Let's put it that way. Rui struggles against perimeter guys. So if the Lakers are switching a lot, Rui's guarding like the likes of Garland, Karis LeVert, and Donovan, he's going to struggle there. And then is he a good enough rebounder to make an impact on the boards and on the interior? We haven't really seen that in his NBA career. So, yeah, I think Rui's role is to go to the bench eventually and have Dorian Finney-Smith start, because Rui's just a bucket getter. And I don't think he's good enough at the other aspects of basketball to be a starter on a championship team. That's kind of the way I'm starting to lean. And especially for this team, when you have LeBron and you want him to play power forward and you want AD to play the center, having a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith that's just more of a role player, and then you let LeBron and Anthony Davis and Reeves do all the dirty work, all the ball handling. I think that's the formula long term. But yeah, AD was looking a bit soft on both ends, I thought. So at the end of the first half, Jared Allen has 14 and 8. Anthony Davis has 11 and 5. And he was shooting 4 for 11 from the field and only had 2 free throw attempts. So not your typical AD stuff. LeBron with 12 points, 0 assists on 5 for 10 shooting. Rui Hachimura was 1 for 6 in the first half. Max Christie was 1 for 4. Dorian Finney-Smith 1 for 3. And then Austin Reeves, I thought, was really carrying the load. 16, 4, and 4 on 6 for 10 shooting. So in the first half, the Lakers were only down 5, 58-53. So I thought, still a good game. I still felt like the Cavs were going to win, but at this point, the Lakers are competing. Third quarter, Max Strus comes out firing. Movement threes off the catch, catch and shoot. I mean, transition threes. He was starting to get hot. Made it 77-65. And at the same time, I thought AD was just kind of doing a little too much chilling behind the arc, settling. And not enough mid-post touches, not enough ISOs, not enough low post. Just a lot of chilling. And again, those bigger centers, I think it's something to watch. Let's see how many he scored in the third. Well, actually, the Lakers responded, though, from that Cavs push. They went on a 10-0 run, and it started with Max Christie hitting a 3. Then Anthony Davis hit a trailer 3. Shake Milton hit a 3. Lakers went down by 1, and the crowd was really getting into it. And then Evan Mobley, man, he's really improved in 2 aspects more than any to me. 3-point shooting and just literal big man skills. Top of the show, we talked about Victor Wembanyama and improving on being a skinnier guy, but still using his size to his advantage, getting deeper post position, working harder without the ball, engaging in more physical contact. Yes, they're getting stronger, but a lot of it is just, doing it. A lot of it is going out and trying to do it. And Evan Mobley, keeping the ball up high. He's always had some fundamental skills. You even saw that at USC, but it's about the confidence of doing that against NBA competition regularly, especially when you're playing the 4 in an era where teams don't play 2 bigs. So you're going to have a size advantage every single game. And Evan Mobley, he's on his way to becoming an all-star. I think he should definitely be in consideration for all-star this year. He's averaging 18, 9, and 3 on 57% shooting to go along with a block and a half a game and a steal a game. 57% shooting and 43% from 3 on the best team in basketball. I think you got to all-star him. He's the second best player on this team to me. But Darius Garland, he's a real deal as well. 20 and a half points, 7 assists, shooting really well from the field this year, career highs in field goal percentage and 3-point percentage and free throw percentage. So the guy has just been balling. So, and that pull-up three for Garland, that made things really tough for Anthony Davis because you can play high drop coverage, but if Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are hitting pull-up threes like that, you're in trouble. And the thing about Donovan that I like is, even though most of his shots in terms of like the jumpers that he takes are usually either threes in isolation or shots in the pick and roll, he doesn't usually like stop and pop for the mid-range, or I mean, if he gets to it, it's a step back usually, but he doesn't really have a stop on a dime going to, I don't think I have to look. Next time we watch him in the playoffs, we'll see. But his stop on the dime, he doesn't get to it if he has one getting downhill. It's a lot more step back going to his left. But I like that he embraces every spot on the floor in terms of shooting. But when AD is playing drop and Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are walking into threes, that causes them to switch 1 through 5, and then you get mismatches, and you get Donovan attacking the likes of LeBron and Rui Hachimura. And I thought LeBron's one-on-one defense was pretty good, but Evan Mobley, he was taking advantage of matchups. Now, the end of the third, I thought was so bad on LeBron's part. He had 2 possessions in a row where he held the ball for 15 plus seconds and then passed with 3 on the shot clock. And it's just like, that's just the epitome of selfish basketball to me, is like you try to make it seem like you're unselfish by passing at the end of the possession, but you've put your teammates in a very difficult spot because you're lollygagging on the ball. And when you look at the little ball movement of those possessions and then the Cavs moving the ball and they make threes and go on an 8-0 run to end the quarter, like I always believe that not all turnovers are created equal. It's the flow of a game. That's why I love watching games and not highlights. The flow of a basketball game at every level, one play affects the next. And when you have a guy dribbling like that so much and the ball's not moving and you turn the ball over or something, then the other team's zipping the ball across, they will make you pay. This is high level basketball. It's not coincidental they make a 3 right after that stuff. And then in the beginning of the fourth quarter, this dude LeBron again catches the ball in the post, takes like an hour to get to his move and doesn't end up getting to his move, kicks it out to I believe, I forget who, for a semi-contested 3. It was bad, man. It was bad. Now, Jared Allen, I thought he continued to just, I don't want to use the word dominate Anthony Davis, but just get the better of him, whether it be on the roll. I'll put it this way. Jared Allen was playing up to Jared Allen standards, if not better, and Anthony Davis was playing worse than Anthony Davis standards. So, yes, we got to understand that the standards are relative, but I just thought he got whatever he wanted. 13 points and 6 rebounds in the second half alone. But AD had 17, 8, and 3 in the second half. So he actually played better in the second half. But we hold AD to a high standard. He's a top 10 player in basketball. And if you're watching that game, you tell me you're watching a top 10 player in basketball watching Anthony Davis? Because I think he's a top 10 player in the league. Probably, I think where did I have him ranked? Let's see. This season, going into it, I have him ranked. So basically, end of last season, going into this season, I have him ranked 9th best player in the league. So that was not like that. And then the Lakers, funny enough, cut it down to 5. LeBron had that nice pass to Reeves on the pick and roll. He had that corner 3, but Donovan Mitchell making things happen, making big shots. And, Rui was struggling to defend. He really didn't give the Lakers anything. And then Max Christie got back cut, which led to a Jared Allen bucket. Dorian Finney-Smith got blown by Darius Garland. And Dorian Finney-Smith, he got 20 minutes, didn't make too much of an impact, but he was a +7. The defense definitely looked better with him on the floor, but he's going to slowly get more minutes as he becomes comfortable with the coaching staff and just, really integrate himself into the team. But then Jared Allen, there was a play where Cam Reddish was guarding the ball. I think it was Donovan Mitchell rejected the screen, passed to Jared Allen, and LeBron rotated, but he just went up over the top. So he had 5 straight to end it. And the Lakers lost the game 122-110. It was a valiant effort, but the simple facts are that Anthony Davis didn't play well enough. Rui Hachimura didn't play well enough. You're still integrating Dorian Finney-Smith into the system. LeBron, I just think he was a ball hog at times. And the Cavs are straight up just better than the Lakers. And Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton do not change that. So I also think, in terms of actually, I'll talk about it right now as I read the lines. Cavs win at 122-110. I already talked about the shooting splits. They shot 48% from the field, 39 from three, and 82 from the foul line. They played a 10-man rotation. Sam Merrill played 8 minutes, shot 1 time, missed the 3, had an assist. Ty Jerome played 14 minutes, had 5 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a turnover on 2 for 6 shooting and 1 for 3 from deep. George Niang played 18 minutes, had 9 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist on 3 for 5 shooting, 2 for 3 from deep, 1 for 2 from the foul line. So solid impact, shooting efficiently for Niang. And then Karis LeVert, honestly on the quieter side, 3 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and a turnover on 1 for 4 shooting and 1 for 3 from deep in 23 minutes. Karis LeVert averaging 12 points a game, shooting an amazing 51% from the field, which is a career high, and a ridiculous 47% from 3 this season. So I absolutely think he should be in 6th man of the year consideration. But man, those are some impressive shooting splits. And then the player that got the most minutes off the bench for the Cavs and was the best player for them off the bench was Max Toaster-Strudel. 15 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and no turnovers for headband Max. 5 for 9 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3. Dude was lighting it up. Then you've got Dean Wade, who had 3 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, no turnovers on 1 for 4 shooting, and was 0 for 3 from 3. So he missed all the shots he missed were his threes, made his only free throw. Then their big 4, Jared Allen was my player of the game. 27 points, 14 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 3 blocks, 1 turnover on 12 for 14 shooting, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. I mean, if that doesn't tell you how well he played, like Jesus, against Anthony Davis. Now, again, not all those points are Anthony Davis's fault, but that's a monster stat line. That's an Anthony Davis stat line against Anthony Davis. And then Darius Garland, he didn't shoot well, but man, he had a good game. What he's able to do in the pick and roll is lethal, and his first step is so good. His handle's so good. Darius Garland, of course, in his 6th season in the NBA, 14 points, 14 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers on 5 for 16 shooting, 2 for 8 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the foul line in 32 minutes. Then Evan Mobley, really solid game, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers on 8 for 14 shooting, 2 for 4 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the foul line. One of the best Trojans of all time, one of my favorite players in the league. Dude is a beast. He should be an all-star. Honestly, I'd have Darius Garland in the all-star game too. And then you have Donovan, who had 26 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, 3 turnovers on 8 for 20 shooting, 6 for 13 from 3, and 4 of 5 from the foul line. Let me say this about Donovan. I genuinely feel as though he's one of the more underrated players in the league because since the moment he came into the league in 2017, he's been playing at an all-star level. He's not had one season where he's not been an all-star player. He's been amazing every year. In the playoffs, yeah, he's had some rough playoff series. The Clippers series after games 1 and 2, the Mavericks series was horrific. The 2022 Mavericks series. Then the Knicks series was really bad as well in 2023. But last year he was really solid. Unfortunately got injured. But Donovan, I mean, that guy, he should get some serious MVP buzz. He's only averaging 24 points a game, which is not as much as some, crazy as some of the other guys' stats, but he's leading the best team in the league. He's averaged 20 plus points every year of his career. This guy's been the best player on his team every single year of his career. He made the right decision by staying in Cleveland. This is now his 3rd season in Cleveland. He's actually averaging less points than the last 2 seasons, but the team is playing better and other guys are contributing. And that doesn't mean he's having a worse season because his shooting splits, his 3-point percentage is 41.5 right now. Now, here's my problem with the Cavs, right? And why I think that them winning a championship is a little far-fetched. I think they're in the mix. I wouldn't consider them a serious contender. I think they're a conference finals contender. But I was thinking about it, and my boy from Hawks Fan TV, Alex, mentioned this. What team in the last 40 years, has won a championship, and their best 4 players don't contain a wing in there. Now, I like Max Strus. I like Isaac Okoro, who didn't even play in this game. I like Dean Wade. Are these guys the guys to guard the likes of Jason Tatum, SGA, and the likes? Is Donovan Mitchell, being a 6'4 guy or 6'3, able to be the best scorer on a championship team? I have real doubts. There's no team. The closest was the Spurs, but I think Bruce Bowen was the 4th best player on the team. And he's able to guard those elite players, and he was fantastic at what he did. Isaac Okoro, Max Strus, these guys aren't better than Bruce Bowen. No, overall basketball players, both ends of the floor. Bruce Bowen didn't have much off the bounce, but he could really shoot and he could really defend. He was a dirty fucker, and he was very good at what he did. I don't think there's any team that's been like that. So the Cavs, they're battling history. But the Celtics just made history last year, being the only team with 2 score-first wings like that, right? So these guys are battling history, and the NBA is changing. So maybe they win the championship and get a second ring, and then LeBron's ring doesn't look as crazy. It still will look amazing, though. Let's talk about the Lakers. They went 9 deep. By the way, they still played that small ball lineup with Rui at the 5 and LeBron at the 5. I don't know. It hasn't worked so far. Jackson Hayes wasn't back yet. It said DNP coach's decision, but I just feel like he probably wasn't ready. Shake Milton got the least amount of minutes, and I think after what you saw, you'd probably want him to play more. Played just 10 minutes, but he was 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 for 4 from 3, and those were all his shots. So you like to see that, especially for a team like the Lakers who doesn't shoot threes well. Cam Reddish played 19 minutes. That dude cannot shoot at all, and we've seen it year after year. He plays decent, above average defense. To me, Cam Reddish, honestly, I'm starting to think this. He's not good enough to get in a championship team's rotation. He's not. Cam Reddish, 0 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal on 0 for 3 shooting and 0 for 2 from 3. Dorian Finney-Smith in his Laker debut, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists on 1 for 4 shooting, 0 for 2 from 3, and +7. That his defense was pretty solid, but with Dorian Finney-Smith, he'll continue to show what he's good at as time goes on. Dalton Connect played 22 minutes. Those 2 shots he made where he went off the dribble, those were actually his only 2 made shots. He had 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Did not turn the ball over, and no Laker player turned the ball over off the bench. So that's a good sign. But he shot 25% from the field, 2 for 8, and 0 for 5 from 3. Dalton Connect, in his last 10 games, is shooting 18% from 3. That's no good. He's got to get it together. The starters for the Lakers all played 28 minutes or more. Max Christie, who's been fantastic of late, I don't think he had a very good game. He was very average. Didn't really offer much resistance. I still have my doubts. Is Max Christie a starter on a championship level team, or is he a rotation player? I think he could easily be a bench player on a championship team, but starter, I don't know. 5 points for Max, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal, no turnovers on 2 for 6 shooting, 1 for 5 from 3. So he didn't shoot well from 3. And defensively, I don't think he did much. You're asking Max Christie to guard the best guards on championship level teams if you want the Lakers to contend for a title. So that's just a lot for a guy this is the first year he's been in an NBA rotation. Then you've got Rui, who I thought was awful. 7 points, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 turnover on 3 for 10 shooting and 0 for 3 from deep. The thing about Rui Hachimura is he's one of those guys that if he's not hitting threes or his jumper or just scoring, he's not giving you much else. Now you got, I guess you can call it a big 3 now because D'Lo's gone and he's been an all-star. Reeves, I thought was the best player on the Lakers in this game. 35 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists. Oh my fucking God. 1 rebound away from a triple-double. He did turn the ball over 4 times, and I'll tell you, Austin Reeves has got to clean that up. He's turned the ball over way too much. Let's see, his last 10 games, he's averaging 3 turnovers. For the season, he's averaging 2.5. So, I mean, it's not that much different, but he can be better taking care of the ball. He shot 11 for 20 from the field, so 55%. 1 for 4 from 3, 12 for 13 from the line. Nobody in the game shot more than 5 free throws besides him. I mean, you got to love that if you're a Laker fan. LeBron, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 block. I didn't love the performance from LeBron, but again, he was efficient, and people think if you score a lot and you're efficient, you had a good game. I think he was okay. 9 for 17 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, 2 for 2 from the foul line. You're not going to get away with being a ball hog in front of me. James Harden and And LeBron and Luka, this fake unselfishness act that they do, I mean, I see right through that shit. Because again, I and other people in every level love to be the guy that wants to create shots for everyone. It's not being real unselfish to me. I learned that the hard way. Now, Anthony Davis actually still ended up putting up a great stat line. And it tells you what kind of expectations, what standard we set for this guy. But again, if you want him to be the best player on a championship team, then just putting up 28 and 13 on 12 for 23 shooting and 2 for 4 from 3 and 2 for 2 from the foul line and also getting 4 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks to go with it. My God, that's such a great stat line. Is not enough when you lose by 12 and you get Jared Allen getting 27 and 14 and 3 blocks as well. It's not good enough. You play to win the game, as Herm Edwards said. And the Lakers didn't do that. So for me, AD's got to be better. Rui has to be better. LeBron's got to not dribble the ball so much when he's, I don't know, man. What the Lakers are the Lakers. They're going to get better. Dorian Finney-Smith's going to help, but this still isn't a championship team. It's a better team, though. It's closer to it. That's it for me in this one, guys. Have a happy new year. And thank you so much for listening. I did 58 minutes, almost an hour long for the audio people.